Hey, how's it going, everybody? Figured I'd make another quick video. It seemed like everybody enjoyed the last one I made, and as I watched it again, I realized that there was, I covered quite a bit. It was a long video, but I covered quite a bit, but there was still a lot that I had left out that I wanted to say. So I figured, I'll come back sooner than I thought. Originally, I don't think I'm gonna make a whole lot of videos, but I figured at least it was worth making another one just to cover some of the things I missed. And so a lot of that actually pertained to the warmer itself. So when I first was thinking about buying a cooker, I wasn't even gonna plan on doing a warmer. I was strictly just gonna get probably the 24 by 50 with the insulated box. I definitely wanted that, but I didn't really see the value in the warmer. But during the wait, the more I looked around as I waited and read what people had to say, I did a 180, and I'm happy I did, because honestly, the warmer is probably my favorite part about this cooker right now. So yeah, it added, probably another 25 or 30% to the cost, but it's by far probably my favorite part about it. So some of the things I like about it is just versatility. I mean, so like Paul always says in his videos, you can be it could be a cold smoker, it could be a vertical smoker, you can direct cook in it. Obviously I added a rotisserie in there. I have the elevated charcoal grate, so I can do some char grill cooking. So there's a lot you can do in it, more than just actually the main chamber itself. And also too, I use it even when I'm just cooking in the main chamber. I'm preheating splits, in the bottom of the warmer, so that way as soon as you throw them on the fire, they go up real quick, and you don't get all that smoke, all that bad smoke. I should have mentioned too, it is a little windy out, so hopefully the audio comes out, but it is what it is. So anyways, just moving on, some of the other things that I did too, I figured just so I don't miss anything, I'll try to be a little more methodical about it. So one thing that I did, and it's probably unnecessary, but so I actually had Tyler and his guys skin the bottom of the firebox itself. I want to make sure this thing lasts a long time, and it would have anyways, but I figured, what, it was a cheap enough add-on, so I actually had them skin that with, I think it was 3/8 inch plate. So I got the quarter, then the 3/8 inch plate, and then the other thing obviously I would do too is the ash pan. So Paul's always saying, hey, make sure you get the ash pan, and honestly it is. It's for the money, it's a really well built piece, and you might as well, and it makes getting the ash out of there a whole lot easier. Fire basket's just a standard fire basket, so nothing special there. I'll take it out real quick though so you can see. So that Guru port, so I had them put it in just above the ash pan and below the firebox. So the logic there, was that way it wouldn't be blowing any ash around. But like I said, I haven't fiddled with that too much, and if I could do it again, I probably wouldn't do it. Obviously, you'll note too, I did the reverse sear grate. I'd recommend that. I'm happy with that. Actually, I did that. I used that for some chicken thighs last week. So I smoked them and cooked them up in the warmer, and then right at the end, I threw them right on that over the flame, and crisped up the skin real good. But I'm also thinking maybe too, even at some point, pizzas and stuff. Then you'll see in there too the baffle block. I would definitely get that. From what I read, or even if they try to do it afterwards, I can't see them being able to get it to fit perfect. But like mine, it fits real good. So I would definitely get that when you go to get your cooker, so that way it fits nice and tight, and it's cheap enough. Moving up, so on the outside, obviously I had them do a placard that came out real nice. I did obviously the thermometer or the temp gauge with the hood. So in the warmer, same thing, starting on the bottom. So what I was mentioning before, it's now that it's cooler, I'm not actually cooking in it, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So when that deflector's in its normal state, they actually got a piece of angle iron that holds the pan onto the rail, so you can pull the whole thing out, empty out your ash, add some new coals to it, and it works real good. But obviously when I lift up and turn that deflector the way I need it to, this functionality doesn't work. So I think I did kind of figure out what I want to do. So I'm probably just gonna, on the inside of the It's kind of messy from the last cook. I got to scrape it out and clean it. But I think I'm going to basically just put a strip, rather than doing the whole thing, because it'd be kind of heavy, but just do like a 6-inch wide strip of 1/4-inch plate right over where the opening from the firebox would be, and then that way I can just run without it, you know what I mean? So then I could just have this thing wide open, and the spot where it's going to be getting really hot when this is in there, that's where that plate would be, and it'll kind of keep this pan, I'm hoping it'll keep it, get some rigidity to kind of keep it from bowing. Real quick too, so this is supposed to be an ash pan, but obviously I'm using it too as like a drip pan to kind of catch some of the drippings. Kind of like the baffle plate inside the main chamber works, you know what I mean? So the drippings hit that, they kind of sear up. One thing I found the first time I tried doing that is I pulled this out like this, because the nice thing would be, you know, so when you pull out your grate, you could pull that out too, and it keeps stuff from dripping all over the front of your cooker. But when I did that the first time, all that grease was nice and liquid, and this seam wasn't welded. So obviously all the grease and stuff started dripping out all over the place, made a little bit of a mess. So I just brought that into work and had a guy, you know, weld that right up on either side. The other two sides are formed up, so that's, you know, obviously it's there's no seam there for anything to drip out of. So now it's tight, and no drippings are going to actually come out. That's something I'm sure Tyler and his guys, for probably not a whole lot, would probably do for you, and I would definitely recommend. So obviously too, I did the extra shelf in the warmer, the 3rd grate, and after using it, I'm definitely happy I did the 3rd grate for sure. 2 wouldn't have been enough. I would actually probably recommend doing a 4th grate. So like when I did some jerky a couple weekends ago, I kind of ran out of real estate in here, and that worked actually. On that note, it worked really well. So at that time I was cooking a rack of ribs in the main chamber, you know, 275, and then over here I was running holding steady at 175, 170, 175, and it worked great. And I was able to maintain that for 4.5 hours. Jerky came out great. Just I didn't have enough grates. So I would definitely think about it. I mean, obviously you're going to lose some clearance, but you know, if you need the room, you can pull out a grate, and that wouldn't hurt having the 4th set of tracks in there. So I would definitely recommend doing that. One thing I do to use, actually, I mean, kind of a cheap plug. One thing I did use for the jerky is something called frog mats. So if you go on Amazon, you can look up frog mats. There's these cheap fiberglass mesh mats that it makes it a whole lot easier. And also too, the grates, you can clean them, but you know, they get a little messy. So having those frog mats just kind of keep the meat up off the grates a little bit, and then also too, getting the meat in and out, it made it a whole lot easier to be able to preload it onto those frog mats and then put them in there. Some of the other things I did, so I did the sausage rods. So that was something I was on the fence about, you know, because I'm like, I don't know how much I'm really going to use them, but honestly, I already did use them, and I would do it again. You know, it was cheap enough where I said, you know, it made sense. And the way I thought about it too is, after the fact, if I want them later on, it'd be a whole lot harder for me to try to get them in there than just to have these guys do it right off the bat. So definitely worth it. Wasn't expensive. I would do it again for sure. I used it just before Easter. I got some Easter kielbasa, and I smoked that up, hung it from there. It worked really good. So I would recommend it. I obviously did the hip roof. That's just purely aesthetics. It does give you a little bit more headroom, because it basically just adds, you know, like 3 inches to the overall height of the warmer. But that was cheap enough. Another one of those things, like I tried to do the things that I knew would be very, very hard for me, or next to impossible for me to do after the fact, and that's one of them, right? There's no way I'd be able to add a hip roof down the road. So for the little bit of money they wanted, I said, you know what? It's not that much more, and it looks that much better. I might as well go for it, so I did. And kind of same thing with the stacks. So one thing you'll notice, and this is just me, some people are probably thinking it was stupid, but a lot of the warmer stacks, you know, are about half the height, and it just kind of looked funky to me. So I said, hey, you know, Tyler, can you just add, you know, lengthen the stack on the warmer so it matches and is the same height as the main chamber. And so it wasn't a whole lot, and that's what they did, and I think it just looks better. But like I said, it was one of those things, like, you know, either I did it or speak now or forever hold my peace. So I said, why not? So I went for it. Obviously, I did the rotisserie. You guys saw that. So I'm going to use that again today. I'm going to do a porchetta, and then I got a chicken that I'm brining right now. So I spatchcocked it. I cut it in half, and I'm going to splay it out. And I'm actually going to try to use this bottom grate here, lay the chicken out, and then have that under the porchetta, which hopefully should work pretty good. You know, so you get all the drippings and stuff from the pork, and I'm hoping that that works some wonders on the chicken. And then obviously talked about the dampers. Everybody knows what they do. Definitely recommend them. I mean, it's kind of a must-have if you have a warmer. Just had them add on this little Yeti bottle opener. Haven't used it yet, but yeah, another one of those things I said, you know what, I might as well throw that on there. And then not a whole lot special in here. It's just kind of your run-of-the-mill. One thing I did contemplate adding in an additional another set of tracks. There wasn't a whole lot of money, and my thought there was at least that way it'd give me some options to kind of position that top rack. I ended up not going with it, and honestly, I mean, I'm not too upset about that decision, because I don't know, this spacing works really good. I mean, there's been a couple scenarios, like when I was cooking the ham, I don't know if it's right, I'm still trying to learn, but I had the spiral sliced ham I cooked for Easter. I had a position right around here on the upper shelf, and then when I was trying to baste it and stuff, you know, my hand was kind of hitting the top. So then it would have been nice if I had maybe one more intermediate position where I could have lowered this rack a couple of inches just to give me a little more clearance. But I don't know, like I said, and the reason why I didn't go with it either, it's not that it would have really obstructed it too much, but I don't know, I just want to try to keep it clean in here. And even on this side, you know, I didn't want anything kind of obstructing, you know, the flow of the smoke and the heat. But I don't know. I just figured I'd throw it in there just as a thought, you know, so if, you know, that might be something you haven't thought about, and you could give it some thought and see if that's something you want to do. So that pretty much covers it. Like I said, you know, my last video, I think I covered quite a bit, but when I watched again, there was obviously a number of things I'm like, oh man, I forgot to mention this, that, and the other thing, and like I said, I want to just help people out and give back a little bit, like I said, because I watched a lot of videos, and it was the advice I saw in the videos that helped me make a lot of these choices and upgrades. But for sure, if you have your build sheet in and it doesn't include a warmer, I would highly recommend you think long and hard about that. Like I said, for the longest time, I was dead set I wasn't having a warmer. I didn't need a warmer. There was no need for it. It was excess. I don't need to cook that much food. And then the more I thought about it, and the more I read and heard people, I'm like, yeah. And now that I have it, I'm like, man, dude, was that a good choice? Because if I didn't have that, I'd be missing out on so much. It would still be a great cooking machine, but it would be a lot less versatile. So, and that baffle block, you have to get that. You have to get the ash pan. And those are about the most must-haves. I mean, everything else are nice. I'm happy I got them. Maybe it doesn't fit your budget. But then again, you know, it's an investment. Think about that too. I mean, no matter how you slice it, your cooker's going to be expensive. And some of these things are not that easy to outfit down the road. So, I know, like I said, you know, money doesn't grow on trees, and people have limited budgets. But think about what you want, and then think about, is it something you're going to want down the road? Because if that's even a maybe, you might as well just get it, so that way it's done and you don't have to worry about trying to, you know, customize things on your own and hacking it. So anyways, I'll leave that there. I'm 14 minutes, and I think I got everything covered. So now you guys probably won't hear from me for a while. Maybe I'll do you know, a quick video of a cook here and there, but yeah, that's all the details I had. So if you have any questions that I didn't cover, you know, maybe even like the, you know, I had a lot of questions about just like the overall height. By the way, this one's 73.5 inches high. But if you have any random things that you want me to look into for you or measure for you, just let me know, and I have no problem doing it, and I'll get back to you in the comments. All right? Thank you.